One of my favorite things about Issa Rae and what she's created is being able to see the progression of it going from a YouTube series to becoming an HBO series, and just all of the strength and power that she has. It's so great to see Black women being role models, going out creating in the world, and being able to connect with people on TV in a way that I don't feel I've been able to do before. I'm Latia, and I'm a relationship coach, and what I love the most about Insecure is just how real it is. Watching those relationships, it's like I could see a group of friends being very similar to this. I know one of my best friends, he lives in San Diego. He's like abroad now, but he lives in San Diego, and his friends watch it, and it's a show where it would be like, oh, you're a Molly, or no, you're an Issa, or maybe you're a Tiffany. Like, it's a show where you can connect and like see your friends and relationships reflected within it. And it's the type of show where it's like, it's so much fun to talk about, because as we talk about it, it's like the gender disparity is kind of fascinating, because between Issa and Lawrence, their friend groups are so different. It's crazy. Mostly because it's like Issa will do something and they just sometimes will have the most ridiculous advice to give her, and it's like, you are set up for failure. There was no way this was going to go well. It doesn't, do you any justice. Whereas it's like Lawrence has like these really intelligent, supportive friends who are like willing to check him. So even though his friend's kind of like an F-boy and like doesn't really care about relationships or connecting with women on a deeper level, he gives him better advice than some of Issa's friends do. But it's also, I don't know if I would say like real or true, because I guess it is. I feel like I hear a lot about how a lot of times when women, maybe Black women, but it could just be women in general, when Black women and women come together, white women, whatever, but when there's a group of women, this one guy told me, he's like, there's always going to be, in a group of, I think it's like 8 women, but like in a big group of women, there's always at least one woman who hates women, not who hates women, who hates men. So there's going to be this woman who's just like mad at men, whether she got broken up with, she's just bitter, she's having a bad day, whatever it is, she's just a no. So any attempt to connect with a woman in that group, she's going to block it. So she's going to be a blocker. It's just not worth it. Because in his estimation, it's like when you deal with a group of women, there are dynamics at play where you just don't want to get involved. Now, when it comes to, I guess, like taking it to real life, being a woman, I understand that to walk up to a group of women as a man is difficult. You don't know what you're going to get. Maybe we're just a couple women who hate men. Maybe we're crazy. Not like, oh, cute, understandable, but like literally crazy. I'm gonna cut you if you talk to me. Like, people don't know, and we don't always give cues as to how open we are. So some people can be open and friendly and inviting, whereas some people might have resting bee face and they look kind of angry or off-putting. But just because someone's demeanor may not match like what their intentions are, there's a lot of challenges that arise in knowing whether someone is open to you or not. And I feel like there's this idea that it's like, if someone's open to you, like their body language and all these different things, and some people really have mixed messages where they're wanting to connect and they want to be taken care of. They want to really deeply be seen and heard, and they don't know how to communicate it effectively. Whether they've just learned not to show those emotions, they're not very vulnerable, they may not know the art of flirting and connecting via nonverbal communication. And even if, like, let's say the woman does know how to do these things, sometimes guys can't read those messages and they need you to like be extra overt. So it's like there's a lot of room for miscommunication in the attraction process. Now, back to Insecure. That show has gone through so many twists, turns, evolutions, and all sorts of things. And I am very much looking forward to this new season and just how weird it's going to get with the different dynamics that are being established. But it's also, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, it's so nice to see a group of like strong, powerful Black people doing their thing, living their best lives, and doing their best too. So even when they do crazy stuff, like Issa going to this guy's house that she was dating and like doing, like searching through his stuff, it was still just like, that's something real and relatable. Especially, it was funny to me because I had a conversation or a thought, I can't remember which, but I remember feeling like, man, there's so many times where it feels like people don't understand. Black people have thoughts. Like, we think things, we have feelings, we have emotions. We're human too. Like, why do you not understand that there are thought processes behind what we do? We're not always just like, we're not animals, we're human too. And so to have an episode where it was like in her headspace and like going through her thoughts and what she was thinking, not just having her speak to herself in the mirror, which is always entertaining to watch, especially when she's rapping, but it was also nice to have like her inner dialogue, because I feel like there's a lot of times where the inner dialogue isn't honored, and there are moments where I'm like, are you expecting me to read your mind? Because like, if you're thinking something, like, you need to say that out loud instead of like sitting here looking at me awkwardly, because I'm not going to pretend to read your mind, and I don't know what you're thinking, and I am glad you don't know what I'm thinking, because I'm like, if my thoughts were like legit broadcast as they are all the time, which they usually are across my face, but if like you knew exactly what I was thinking, like word for word, could like get my thoughts and inner dialogue, I don't think I'd have any friends at all. I don't think people would like me. Like, there are moments where I'm like, are you sure I'm likable? I know the energy of like my thoughts, feelings are projected onto my face. It's like readable in communication with me. And like, I even had a conversation with my coach where I'm like, yeah, I was frustrated during our call. Like, I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. You were just barking up the wrong tree. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm equipped to have these conversations. She was like, yeah, I could tell. I really wanted it to get back to normal. I really like our calls. And I'm like, I get that. But it's like, it's 50-50. Like, you can't take all the responsibility. Neither can I. I mean, I can take more of it, but we're humans. Like, it's all about compromise. And something I'm thinking about creating as like a community or social space is, how can we find space to, not really find, but I'd like to create a space where people can practice dealing with the social challenges that they have. So if it's, you know, I have these emotions and I don't know how to express them in a way that feels good, or I like dealing with these type of people but I don't know how to break the ice, or just different things where it can be a creative and safe space to express yourself and practice honoring your whole self, because there are so many ways in which we're not taught to express different emotions. So it's like, I feel like we're allowed to be like happy or angry. And you're not even necessarily allowed to be happy. So if you're too happy, you're just annoying. So you have to be like neutral, but like positive. And then you can be like mad. Like, if you're angry, it's like, oh yeah, like you're mad. Like, people get it. You can't be sad. That's unacceptable. Don't be depressed. People don't like that. It's like, there's all these emotional rules that we have to follow. And so when we express our truths, it's like we have to deny a portion of ourselves. So I don't know how it's gonna look, but I know I'm gonna start doing some research and creating different things, because I feel like it's so impactful when you have a safe space to practice and honor your truth and just be you, like whoever you want to be, regardless of your gender or your ethnicity or your skin color or your hair, like whatever it is. We all have the power to craft our narrative, and I would love to really dive deep with people in creating their own and honoring it and practicing, what does that look like? How does it feel? But to live in this day and age where Issa Rae has created a television show and is on HBO, where Rihanna has created her brand, where Beyonce is doing her thing. I really like Destiny's Child, and I'm like Aaliyah fan. I remember when my aunt told me she went to see Beyonce, and I was just like, who cares about Beyonce? This was like 2000, it had to have been like 2000, 2001. I was like, if I were to see anyone in concert, it would be Aaliyah. And then she passed away, and I was very sad. And I think that's a loss that I've never really quite gotten over, because I still love her to this day. She was so beautiful, so talented, and I'm just like, man, the world would not be the same if she had like stayed alive in a great way. And the world is cool where it's at. But it is awesome to have all of these women of color being role models and doing powerful things. And I even love like the expression of sexuality and trying to find yourself after a long-term relationship. How do you attract people? How do you meet people? How do you define who you are in a relationship and what you want? Because when you're dating and trying to find yourself and figure out other people, there's a lot of dynamics at play. Especially if you've been in a long-term relationship, you have to figure out, who are you on your own? Who are you in this relationship? How did it shift you? What do you really value? And a lot of the times when we're in relationships with people, whether they're friendships or marriages or long-term partnerships, whatever they are, it's easy to lose bits of ourselves and get kind of lost in the sauce of being connected to another human being. So I'm grateful to have a show where it's really easy to connect with the characters, to enjoy their storyline, and to have people who look like me on TV. It's amazing. And I'm so excited for the next season. I'm so glad that just the shift that we're going through in media and everything, where Black women are powerful people and like getting stuff done, being amazing, and showing we've been great this whole time. Y'all just didn't give us no play. But I am just so honored at the day and age that we lived in. Even though it's full of challenges, there are so many victories and wonderful things that are happening. And I'm excited to create and meet new people and do things. I know there's the Weight Watchers 2020 Vision Tour. Michelle Obama and Oprah are going to be in Brooklyn, and I got myself a ticket to see them. And I'm just excited because I've been seeking guidance from Black women, and to have two amazingly powerful, wonderful Black women who are gonna create a space. I don't know what it's gonna be like, but I'm gonna be there. So I'm just excited to connect and share, and I wish you a great day. See you next time.